Today, the state of Tennessee failed to carry out a death sentence for a man convicted of a triple murder. The botched execution sparked immediate backlash. Witnesses say medical staff struggled to find a vein to administer a lethal injection on that death row inmate. Tony Carruthers was supposed to be put to death for the 1994 kidnapping and killing of 3 people in Memphis. The now 57-year-old death row inmate represented himself at trial. He was convicted based on testimony from witnesses, but not physical evidence. Today, after suspending the execution, the governor granted the death row inmate a 1-year reprieve. 10 News reporter Lauren Lovett joins us to explain how the events today continue a pattern of missteps over the years by the state in its effort to carry out the death penalty. Lauren?
John, I talked to 2 lawyers today. Both say this is something that has to be administered perfectly to be effective and fair. And the manner and method of the injection have been called into question, as they say the state has not been transparent on several concerns surrounding the process. More than 30 years after his death sentence for a triple murder, the state was set to execute Tony Carruthers. But more than an hour into the process, the state called it off after failing to find a vein to administer the lethal injection.
Some people might ask, why couldn't they just go ahead with the main line that was, in fact, inserted? Well, the protocol says otherwise. And again, Tennessee has a history of death penalty cases being reversed because protocols weren't followed.
WBIR legal analyst Don Bosch and criminal defense lawyer Joshua Hedrick both don't expect the complication with this execution to impact the 3 others set for this year. But lawyers for those death row inmates may offer a challenge based on the botched execution.
But one of the problems that Tennessee has is that Tennessee refuses to be transparent about the process. Tennessee refuses to explain to the citizens some of the details about how it goes about killing citizens. I think it's incumbent on the Department of Corrections to explain why those will be different. Explain why it is that will work when this one didn't.
The legal experts also agreed that a 1-year reprieve granted by Governor Bill Lee could renew efforts to conduct DNA testing in the Carruthers case. Last month, attorneys with the American Civil Liberties Union requested new testing they claim will prove the innocence of that man from Memphis.
I think that is an opportunity to avoid an injustice. If the DNA testing confirms that he is guilty, then good. If the DNA testing confirms he's not, then that's also good. Society needs to know. Mr. Carruthers needs to have that resolved. And frankly, I think the victim's family should know.
Lauren joining us once again. Critics have long said the death penalty is not only irreversible, but it costs taxpayers more in the long run. Explain that.
That's exactly right. And Hedrick says the death penalty is actually much more expensive than a life sentence. He points to the intense trials, appeals, and investigative costs. Studies in Tennessee show that the cost of a death penalty case can be millions more than a life sentence.
All right, Lauren Lovett will continue to follow developments here.